Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is overrated, completely overrated. I don't think he's a solid prospect. I don't think he has a chance at breaking into the top 5. He has a top 10 matchup next weekend, UFC Vegas 109 against Roman Dolidze, and I think he's going to lose. I think Anthony Hernandez has been overhyped. He was underrated at a point, and now it's gotten to a point where everybody's kind of riding with Anthony Hernandez. He's a massive favorite going into this fight next weekend, and I don't think he wins it. We're going to get into why I believe he's overrated, how I think he's going to lose next weekend, and how his hype train is going to be completely derailed by Roman Dolidze, boys. So let's get into it. This guy has been a prospect for a minute. Anthony Hernandez initially was completely underrated. A lot of people had him under their radar. Nobody was really picking up on Anthony Hernandez. Is going to break into the rankings. He's going to beat all these good prospects. You know, he's going to sub a guy like Roman Kopylov, who was on an insane streak, right? He subbed Kopylov, he subbed Vieira, who was an absolute submission demon. Like, he's got some very underrated wins. He has underrated wins. He has underrated skills in general. He did, at least. And now Anthony Hernandez is getting up the ladder of the rankings, and he's facing a guy in Roman Dolidze next weekend who's very tough, very durable, big bruiser, a lot of power in his hands, a very heavy guy. Doesn't look like he's 185 when he steps into that octagon. He looks 200 plus. He's very big, right? And Fluffy Hernandez has a bit of an awkward style. He has a bit of an awkward style. He kind of pitter-pats out there. His striking has improved a lot, but he mostly utilizes that grappling in his last matchup against Brendan Allen. He utilized that grappling like crazy. He just chain grappled Brendan Allen for 3 rounds, and it worked. It did work because Brendan Allen didn't commit to the striking. He didn't commit to the grappling. He was trying to see which one he was going to do, and he didn't even know what he was doing until the 3rd round. And I'm going to be honest, Anthony Hernandez seemed to be having some tough matchups at the beginning of his career, and it seemed like, oh my goodness, he's beating guy after guy after guy, but now his past 2 wins haven't been very good. He beat Brendan Allen, which was okay. You know, he beat Brendan Allen. The time before that, I believe that was Roman Kopylov that he subbed, which was a good win because Kopylov was on a streak, but now he's fighting a guy who's kind of I'm not going to say a season top 10, but Roman Dolidze is very tough. He's been in the rankings for a minute, and he's having a bit of a resurgence in his career. After now 3 wins in a row, he got back that Marvin Vettori win in his last one, beat him to piss for 5 rounds. Obviously, Marvin Vettori is a bit of a shell of himself, but before that, he beat Kevin Holland. You know, Kevin Holland's a 50-50 fighter, but then before that, he beat Anthony Smith. Now you're going to be like, okay, those are as bad losses, but I do think that Roman Dolidze, skill for skill, is better than Fluffy Hernandez. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with that. That's why this is a bit of a hot take. But I think Anthony Hernandez is overrated. I think his skill for skill, he's looked good because he's been against bad competition. And I think that Anthony Hernandez is going to not be able to get off his grappling in this matchup. That's his only path to victory here. Striking, strike for strike, Roman Dolidze is going to be the more powerful striker, going to have the bigger hands, going to be throwing the more volume, I believe, and he's going to be connecting a lot harder than Fluffy Hernandez. Fluffy Hernandez doesn't have power in his hands. He doesn't have knockout ability. I don't see him getting on top of Roman Dolidze and raining down elbows, and I definitely do not see him subbing Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is very well defensively on the ground. He can defend himself on the ground, and it's just going to be difficult for Anthony to take Dolidze down. I think this is going to be a striking matchup, and Dolidze is the bigger, more powerful, better striker in this matchup for 5 rounds. I think he beats Anthony Hernandez unless he gasses out. Now, I do have to say, Hernandez has a good gas tank. That's all he really has. He's like a middleweight Marab. That's what we call him, the middleweight Marab. The problem is, he doesn't have the plot armor that Marab has. He doesn't have that plot armor. You know who has that plot armor? Roman Dolidze has that plot armor. He's got that almost DDP kind of plot armor. But I mean, there's also another side that, you know, Dolidze is Georgian, you know, Marab, Roman Dolidze, Georgian, but that's fully doesn't even matter. Whatever. Anthony Hernandez, I think he loses this matchup. I think he's overrated. I think everybody, Bedtime MMA, fucking Guru, everybody, all these big YouTubers are like Anthony. They're glazing the shit out of Anthony Hernandez, and I think he's gonna get shut down. Actually, what am I saying? MMA Guru's on my side with this one. I think he's gonna pick Roman Dolidze, but all in all, I think Roman Dolidze is going to fraud check Anthony Hernandez. Now, I know it's not really a fraud checking, but like with the odds, if you check the odds, Roman Dolidze is like a plus 300. Ridiculous odds. I think Roman Dolidze pulls it off. He's getting up there in age now, but middleweight is one of those divisions where you can pull off being 40 years old, like Jared Cannonier or, you know, one of these guys. You can pull that off, right? And I think Roman Dolidze is just a bit too big, a bit too physical for Anthony Hernandez. Hernandez is not a physical guy. He's a flabby guy, man. He's just flabby. I don't know how else to say it, man. If Anthony Hernandez cut down to 170, if he was somehow able to make that cut to 170, I don't know if he's ever fought at 170, but if he did, I think he would look amazing. I think he's a bit too small for 185. I think Roman Dolidze is just a really big dude with a lot of power, good takedown defense. He's going to keep it on the feet, pop that jab, pop those big hooks, and land big on Anthony Hernandez. Now, I don't think he's going to knock out Hernandez because Hernandez is tough. He's one of those tough guys, you know. He's very difficult to finish, but he can get hurt. And I do see a path to victory for Roman Dolidze by decision. I'm going early pick here. Roman Dolidze by decision. I think he pulls it off. 48-47 decision. Roman Dolidze, I think he gets it done. This is kind of like the matchup that I was breaking down a little while back. Hamzat versus DDP. Obviously not as high level, but still in middleweight. Still the same matchup. Anthony Hernandez, grappler, wants to get it to the ground early, wants to try to finish this fight on the ground. Roman Dolidze wants to keep it on the feet, wants to pop his jab, wants to pop his big hooks. And I think the outcomes are kind of the same here. I picked DDP by decision, and I am picking Roman Dolidze by decision. I think he gets it done. I think he keeps it on the feet, and he keeps it where he likes the fight. As long as he doesn't gas out, which I don't see him doing if this is a striking matchup, which I believe it will be. Give me Roman Dolidze by decision as the early pick. As my prediction for this fight, I think Anthony Hernandez is going to get fraud checked, and I think he is overrated. That is my hot take, boys. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop it down in the comments what you guys think about this fight and who you guys are picking, and I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.